Dude, if you're seeing this right now, you're watching the Party with Marty.
Yeah.
We're here to party with Marty!
Welcome, one and all, to the MJ in the House Party with Marty show. With your host here, Marty Snetti. Hypothetically, this is the best show, podcast ever. Hypothetically, best host ever. And hypothetically, we have, lucky enough to have the best producer and co-host, hypothetically ever, Mr. Savage. That's
Happy
pretty good,
Halloween.
man.
Happy Halloween. How you doing?
Was that your Halloween outfit?
No.
Or that's just you today? You got bad breath?
That's just me. Hold on. Let me close the window and maybe I can turn back into a human.
Yeah. Oh man. Good to be back with all of y'all out there. I'm hoping, I think today we got our Radical Addy back for the moderator.
Nice.
And our adorator, we'll call it.
Adorator. I like that. That's original. That's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Adoratinator.
Yeah,
The
there you go.
Adoratinator. We'll make it like a Terminator.
Speaking of her, don't forget she makes all kinds of things at kpopcrazy.com. She makes these, she can make these things, anything you want. Pictures, anything you want, she can put it on there. She can do that. She does coffee cups. See that Party with Marty? Coffee cups. And she makes, like I said, these things. She can do license plates. She can do flags. She can do all kinds of t-shirts, of course, all kinds of things. So, yeah, keep it in mind. kpopcrazy.com. I'll show it again. So you see kpopcrazy.com. What is it? kpopcrazy.com. And she can get anything you want. Like I said, you can send her a picture or any kind of logo or just some words written out, whatever you want, and she can get it put together for you. By the way, I meant to tell you, Mizzy, look.
What's that?
I took the test. I'm not pregnant.
You're not pregnant? That's
No,
good news.
it came up negative.
That's actually really good news. I was worried there for a minute, man, after the weekend.
Imagine how I felt.
My God. So how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I had surgery yesterday, which is backtracking because we're actually taping this on a Tuesday. The surgery's tomorrow. But since this is showing Thursday, I had surgery yesterday.
Oh, wow. Hypothetically. The best
Hypothetically,
surgery of all time.
that one picture we're going to be showing later?
Wow, you have it there. Ooh.
Yeah, and online.
Hold on. That's
1985, 86, the
Jesus
original,
Christ.
the first action figure. And you see, it's just me, no Sean. Sean came later.
I'm gonna have to fix that up for you because I see it's ripping a little bit to the left. That's probably the last.
Yeah, it was. And I was looking online. Somebody sent me a picture. It's selling for $1,400.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it's a rarity.
Rarity is another understatement. No.
But yeah. So, what did you dress up as for Halloween? That
as
thing
a
you
di-
just had.
No, that's just for fun. I did the dinosaur with my son. We
Oh
both
yeah.
were
Oh yeah.
dinosaurs.
Didn't you do that in the parking lot at a school or something?
We did it a couple of times. Trunk or treat, they call it.
Yeah. You gotta next time have. Well, it'll be too late. Then pictures of it. I told you to get pictures.
I could always. I got pictures. I got pictures of that like this if I want. No problem.
Yeah, but it won't be Halloween next week.
No, we'll do it before the end of the show. I'll show you some pictures. I'll have it ready for you before the end
You
of the
will?
show.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we might as well go ahead and get started, right?
I mean, you showed us that figure right there.
Yeah.
We saw it on the big screen. What's the backstory with that figure?
That one?
Yeah. You just got that?
Yeah, that was the beginning. Was it AWA? Yeah, it was right at the beginning when I was there, probably maybe 6 months before Sean came in, and I was already getting to be pretty popular, and enough that they made an action figure of me, and that's when. See, a lot of people don't get this story right. That's when they asked me about being a tag team. Was there anybody out there that I would like to tag with? And I said, yeah, this guy named Shawn Michaels, because we tagged up one time in Kansas City. And it was great. And they were like, oh, yeah, we know about him. Okay. And they brought him in, and there was the Midnight Rockers. But that was I was doing pretty good, as many people there would tell you. I was doing pretty good in singles on my own. But I didn't mind tagging because I love tag team. But see, so speaking of that, let's go right into the territories. That was the theme of this show.
Yes, sir. We're going to start off with Kansas City. So greetings, Kansas City.
Yeah. So Kansas City would be the first place that I wrestled, the first territory. Actually, we got them in backwards order, but I'll go in the order I told you so the pictures fit. Actually, I went to Mid-South for a week or two. But I'll just do it this way. So the pictures slides are set up right. But started in Kansas City, and the thing that's good, it was good for me, and it was good for any of us back then, was the fact that when you had territories like that, and you had old schoolers, you got to learn from guys who had been around 20, 25, 30 years. For me, I got to learn from Rufus R. Jones, that's Slick's dad. You remember Slick? Oh, and he turned into Reverend Slick. Yeah, we ended up tag team. They put me together as a tag team right away there. The Uptown Boys. The picture you got there, the Uptown Boys with me and Tommy Rogers. There was two different Tommy Rogers. That was Tommy Rogers, the real name Tommy Lane. He and I got together as Uptown Boys, and was doing the kind of same gimmick, the upbeat banging around, tassels in places, just high energy. We ended up winning the tag belts, I think after about 3 or 4 months of tagging together. We learned so much, me and him both. He had I had just started in the business. I probably had maybe a dozen matches before, here and there, before I went to a territory, that one, Kansas City. And he, they put me in Tommy. He had about 6 months head start on me, so that's still new. So we were learning together, and they put us with the grapplers right away, which was Lynn Denton and Tony Dirty White Boy. He wrestled. What did he wrestle in WWF as? Wasn't it a plumber or something? Do you remember?
He had, I think, a few different runs.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But he was Dirty White Boy, and but him and Lynn Denton were the grapplers, under the mask and all. And oh my God, we learned so much from them because we were brand new, So we're learning. Everything is a learning experience, and that's another good thing about the territories back then was that you stay on the road. We did 7 days a week, year round, sometimes 6. Once in a while, we'd get that one day off. So it was over 300 matches a year, my first year. And of course, I loved it. But the point being on that is how quickly you can learn when you wrestle night after night after night after night, week after week, month after month. Whereas now the guys are, they get weekends. which, until I tore my ankles up, that's what I was doing. It was good for me. I'm good enough with just the weekends. But if you're a new guy, talent, new talent coming up, you got to learn in the gym at your school, because you only got 2 matches on the weekend. And what are you doing over there? Did you leave?
No, I'm getting in trouble as usual.
But so it's so much easier. That was a great thing. I mean, all the territories did that. I had heard Mid-South was brutal on the miles. I mean, we were getting close to 3,000. They were talking about they had to travel, driving, because they were doing 7 days a week, 6 days a week. They were averaging 3,000 miles a week, which is a lot. And we were close to that. We probably were close more at 2,500 a week. So there's a lot of travel time, which is where you learn the most, because you're in the car with a bunch of the guys and you do your matches, and then that night you ride and talk about it. What was good, what was bad, what should we leave in, out, all that. But the main thing is, when you feel something one night, if you have to wait a week to apply it again, it kind of fades away. If you get to apply it the next night, and then you can apply it the night after that, it gets better and better and better. And that's the advantage of territories back then. All of them.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir. You just did.
Well, that's okay. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions. What do you use to gauge something that you did that you're going to continue to use? Is it the reaction from the crowd, or is it just maybe a combination of the way it felt in the ring, the chemistry?
It's a little bit of all that. What was the crowd reaction? Like, was it nothing? If there was no reaction, it was like, no matter how good it was, they didn't like it. But if it's so, you go by feel. It felt good. It felt right. Was it in the right place? That's a big thing too. Is excuse me. Is where was that move in the right place in the match? Sometimes you can take the same move and just adjust it to a different spot in the match the next night. But see, that's that advantage of going night after night. You get to adjust, the next night and see how it fits, like a little further in the match, or closer to the beginning, or wherever. You get to tinker with it, and like I say, on the weekends, nothing against that. For me, it was perfect, because I can't work 300 days a year anymore. But I mean, for the new people, they do have the advantage of being seen and getting exposure via technology, right? Social media. But I mean, so you get the exposure, and if you're not ready, so what? Okay, they noticed me. Well, now get in the ring and have a match. Man, you suck. It's just I would say the only bad things about the territories, towards the end. I'll just go with mine. After Kansas City, which I was there for, I think, a year.
And you worked up with some people too.
Yeah. Rufus. I learned so much from him. There was Ox Baker, if you remember Ox Baker. I learned so much from him. And these were traveling buddies. This is what I was talking about. There he is. These are guys you learn from in the car. And, these guys are veterans, and they were on the top for a long time, and so, I mean, I often wonder today, like the new guys that come in, WWE or AEW, who are they going to learn from? I mean, who's there that's got so much experience as being a champion that they got time to teach the new guy? But that was a beautiful thing about territories. I always say the AWA was the best territory, and it was to me until of course WWF. But like for example, I think we went to Birmingham. That was after we got in some trouble, me and Sean. But what
else is new?
Wasn't that I did it though? I mean, of course, I was there, and later in life he tried to put the blame on me, but the truth of the matter was Jimmy Jack Funk. But so we had to take that long ass road back, and we had to go. We started down in Birmingham. And in Birmingham, I got to see my idol, the wrestling idol, is what made me want to get into wrestling. Which Bob Armstrong, he everybody pretty much Bullet Bob Armstrong. All the Armstrongs, Brad and Steve and Scott and all of them, Road Dogs, their dad. And that little funky kick thing I do when I'm all pissed off, like you were talking about on the. By the way, is it okay to say that WWE does keep an eye on me? They made us. They made us they blocked our video for a little bit.
They blocked our video last week, the live one, because we were. I think we went a little over on the time limit of what we could do with video.
Yeah,
but I had no audio in there, so I wanted to kind of see and gauge, and now we know.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of shitty because it wasn't that much over.
Well, they didn't make us get in trouble for it, at least, because I think if they wanted to, they could have gave us like a copyright strike, and they didn't. They just asked for it to be taken down, so at least that was nice of them.
Okay, yeah.
Real quick, I wanted to ask you about Kansas City, though. What was your fondest memory from the actual city of Kansas? Maybe favorite food, favorite date?
I think I like the people there. They were, it's different. Kansas City is the only place I've ever been where you're down. The hotels that we stayed at. Of course, I got an apartment after I was there for a little bit, but at one time, and a lot of guys would just stay, rent cheaply. They give weekly and monthly rates at the hotels. The Capri was the one that of all the boys stayed at. And you're right downtown. I mean, you're 2 blocks over, and you're in the middle of downtown, all them big buildings and all. And then if you go around the corner, about 1 block, there's pastures with cows in them.
That's crazy.
I mean, I ain't never seen that anywhere. Within a mile, you got downtown buildings, metro area, and then 1 mile over, you got cows out in the field.
Did you ever go cow tipping, Marty?
No, I not while I was there. I did when I was younger, and I tried to tip the cow, and the cow tipped me.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So we talked.
I was actually out there looking for the mushrooms. I think they grow on top of shit. The ones that psychedelic mushrooms.
Oh, yeah, I don't mess with those mushrooms. That's too much for me. But we talked a lot about your boys over there in Kansas City. Was there ever talk about the Uptown Boys having another run, maybe ever?
I think Buzz Tyler, which was one of the top guys there, I think him and Tommy took off together. They left together. So that, which was okay with me because that left me to raise up higher single wise. And I ended up being their heavyweight champion.
Oh, you were their superstar.
Yeah, well, I was at one point that it was like, well, why you got anybody else in here? I mean, I've got the heavyweight belt. I had the tag team belt with Bulldog Bob Brown, and then they had a TV title. I had that, so I had all the belts. So what the hell is anybody else going to do there? I mean, you're supposed to get other people over with belts, but but it was just, actually, they didn't trust nobody else. I think was the thing at the time. So it worked out good for me. But yeah, the fondest memory I got there was really the people, Kansas City. They were very nice. Got some great clubs downtown.
Great friends.
Yeah.
How about New Orleans, man? That must have been wild. Louisiana? Were you wrestling?
Oh yeah, with Mid-South. Because I was there for. I don't know, about 6 or 7 matches. That's where I met Barry Darsow for the first time. Demolition.
Yes. Go ahead. Give me all you have on Barry Darsow. What did you guys smash in New Orleans? Now, I mean, I've only got like 5 matches in the business, so I'm a nervous wreck. Oh, wow.
He was fairly new. But we were riding together with Ernie Ladd. You remember big old Ernie Ladd played in the NFL?
Absolutely.
Big old boy. But we rode and like soaked up all the information he could give us. You know, we were learning, and you know, we were really quiet. You know, because we were brand new in the business. Barry had been in the territory for a bit, and so he was a little more relaxed. I'm just sitting there like this.
Just chilling.
Yeah, okay, no, I'm sorry, sir. You know, how things change, huh?
Oh yeah.
But that was Mid-South. In the Kansas City, which I'd given you the wrong order. Mid-South was where I had a handful. I had to work with Nikolai Volkov. And again, I'm brand new. And Butch Reed, but there he is. Oh, Butch Reed, man. That's the first time I had met him. He was nice as could be. Look at him, how he's built. And he was loud in the ring. And I'm like, I was a nervous wreck to work with him.
Yeah, he looks like an absolute animal. I've seen a handful of Butch.
And he's a badass. He's a pretty badass.
Absolute animal. What's your favorite memory with him? Party memory, or just loving memory, or maybe something he taught you?
When I first got into WWF at the time, I'm sitting around with. Remember, he was the natural. He had the blonde hair, the natural Butch Reed.
Yes, sir.
And me and him, we knew each other from Mid-South, not real well, but we knew each other and we got along good. We had a couple matches that went well, but we hung out, afterwards and just got along real well. We liked each other. So, this is like night number one. I mean, so much shit went wrong that first night in WWF. I keep wanting to say E, but it was F at the time.
Oh, it is what it is, yeah.
Yeah, and Rich Bulldog Davy Boy, he was, the music, we're in the club, the music's up loud so he could holler it, and he would be going, the Negro, instead of natural, the Negro, Butch Reed, the Negro. And everybody at the table was laughing about it, and so after a few drinks later, I thought I would try it, right? As Gat would have it, as soon as I went and said it, the music stopped because they were changing DJs or some shit. Dead silent. And I went, the Negro Butch Reed. And he goes, Marty, don't fuck up my ride, Marty. Don't fuck up my ride. Meaning, if you don't come over there and beat my ass. Gosh damn it.
But you're lucky he didn't kill you.
Davey said it about a dozen times, and we're all laughing. I thought I'd get one laugh in, and I go do it, and the music shuts off right as I'm saying it.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, that's
Gat. If that's not Gat, I don't know what is.
Oh, that's 100% Gat. Jesus
but,
Christ!
But the thing about there's a Nikolai. I mean, he was difficult to work with, mainly because I didn't know a whole lot, so he just pounded, ground to pound, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, he looked like a very big boy, strong boy. Like,
oh God, he picked me up.
Was Freddie Blassie with him when you were working with him?
No, not there. No, not in Mid-South. It was just him by himself. But dude, like you said about how strong, man, when he picked me up,
he looked
at that point in the business, I had not been with anybody that strong, in the ring. He picked me up like a little baby, not even a baby, a little baby. Picked me up like nothing and flung me over, and I was like, "Man, what if I had to fight him?" Shit,
you'd probably be in big trouble.
Yeah, but I mean, he was nice enough though. Afterwards, he'd come over. Let me tell you, kid, you gotta. And then he showed me a card trick or two, just to relax me. He was pretty good with magic stuff, but he would do that to relax me. He showed me, let me show you this trick. But and another thing. Okay, so now let's go back to Birmingham. Now down in Birmingham, which was the Fullers, Ron Fuller, Ron and Robert. Yeah, Bob. There he is. That was my that was my wrestling hero when I was a kid. There they are. They owned it. Robert and Ron. Obviously, I don't know if Ron's in there, but they owned it. It used to be Southeast, and the Armstrongs pretty much ran that, and it was based out of Pensacola, I think, and we did TV tapings in Dothan. I did a match or two with them, and that's where I first met the Armstrongs. And that's also where I first saw that, the party, and this is going to be a fun life. because I saw some things right away. The Armstrongs can party. But so, yeah, and they turned it into Continental, which was up in Birmingham, like we said.
What kind of parties are we talking about? Because now you got me thinking. Cowboys, mansions, ranches.
Cocaine and girls.
Okay, enough said.
And by the way, y'all don't forget to get a shirt. And by the way, subscribe to the show. We need subscribers.
Yes. Like
Swaggy will not come on, he said, until we got 10,000. And we ain't even got 1,000 yet. I don't think. Maybe.
Just make sure you smash that like button, because you do have a lot of fans, Marty. And I don't want to interrupt you, but do you mind if I show you a video from a fan?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Eddie, it's me, JB Wrestling Fan for Life. I wanted to say this. Thank you for everything you do for wrestling. Thank you for everything you have done, putting your body on the line. I could see you being a WWE Hall of Famer. Just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for everything you've done. I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan since I was like 1 year old of the Rockers. You're actually one of my favorite rocker, Marty. You were. But I appreciate you. I'm just a fan who loves wrestling and just loves being a fan. Yeah, this is my shout out to you, to the one and only, the Rockers, Marty Jannetty. So, thank you. Keep partying with Marty. Marty, keep up the good work, man.
Love you, brother. Thank you so much, man. I got a tear. Hey, man, get his address and let's send him some stuff.
Copy that. I actually already have a care package going his way with a T-shirt, a Party with Marty T-shirt, a Wrestling with Savage T-shirt, your autograph. He wanted my autograph. He actually asked me for my autograph. And I said,
you to be polite.
Well, maybe.
I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just playing.
It's okay. I told him, don't worry about it. He said, can I send you money next week? I was like, don't even worry. I was like, yeah, don't worry. What's your address? I said, that's all I needed to know.
Yeah, that's good. And I appreciate it. Thank you, my brother. Thank you again.
Yeah, we're going to take good care of him.
Yeah. So
you were talking about the T-shirt real quick, and since you're talking about the T-shirt, I might as well just get a cheap plug-in for you. All right? It's right here, guys. Pro Wrestling Tees. You go look for Party with Marty Jannetty store, and there's more T-shirts coming. If you want the shirt that Marty's got on, that I have on, hypothetically the best T-shirt in the business, Marty, show him. That's right. You go to the Pro Wrestling Tees website, look for Party with Marty. We're there. Support the podcast. And, back to the Cowboys and the cocaine, though. There's Mr. Fuller right there. Hell of a worker. I've seen a lot of his work. That guy was good.
Yes, very. And again, there's people you learn from that's got so much experience. By now, we were probably 2 years in the business, and these guys have got like 30. So you're learning, from the guys that've been on top too. Not just guys in the business. They've been on top for a long ride. But so in Birmingham, Sean talked about this in his biography. Remember that A&E biography?
Yeah.
You used to get paid. It wasn't much money at all. And the funny thing about these territories, the smaller ones that are the ones that are dying out, you're not making any money, but you're having the most fun. It's crazy. I mean, it's hard to understand.
That's usually the way it works. No, I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah, you end up. I don't know if it's because we ain't making no money. We might as well. Or it just happened to work out that way.
It's the teamwork, the camaraderie. Everything.
Camaraderie is unbelievable. You bond so tight when everybody's hungry.
That's for sure. It's because of your family. Was he wrestling when you were there, or was he managing?
Which one?
Fuller.
He was rarely there, but he would wrestle when he was there. And Dutch Mantell was another one that I didn't get to know him very well, but the little bit that I did, I would learn something from him each time I talked to him.
Well, hell, he talks like he knows you very well.
Well, I guess you could say that because we hung out and we had to work together. I think he was manager Wildcat Wendell Cooley. I think maybe I'm not sure.
He had a hell of a look too.
Who's that? Yeah.
Dutch, man. Back in the day.
Yeah, but he's a knowledgeable man right there, a very wise man. In fact, oh, you know what? I take it back. I know where we made some trips together in WWF because he was with Justin Bradshaw.
Yeah.
And so and the three of us rode together a bit, you know. So that's another place I learned some knowledge from him. So yeah, that's another place he would know me. I guess we did. I forgot about that.
Wild man. He looked like a wild man. Was he a wild man, or was he just like?
No, he's pretty. You know, he's pretty laid back. You know, he wasn't crazy. He looks like he'd be a wild one, like one of them Western guys, right? But no,
he looks like he'd break somebody's head with a beer bottle or something. You know?
And they might do that though,
okay.
if you cross him.
Well,
but
no thanks.
But so yeah, man, the Birmingham. I was gonna say Sean put this on his biography. He said, "Yeah, man. He gets in Birmingham. We could get paid in cash, or you could get in cocaine, or you could get half and half.
Half and half. Huh?
Yeah, half money, half cocaine. But Sean said, I pretty much always took mine in cocaine, which he did because hell, then we'd go out to eat. I had to pay for everything because he got all his in coke.
Was it like this in a lot of territories?
No, that was the only one they paid us in cocaine.
I don't think you were complaining.
No, not at all. I mean, once in a while, I mean, shit, Sean would get, you weren't making much money. And again, you're on the road for 6 and 7 days, more 6 there. I think we were 6 days a week, sometimes even 5. But still, that's what
legends.
Yeah, year round. But we wasn't there very long. Sean had gotten some trouble. he had signed this little, I think she might have been 12 or 13 years old, 12-ish. And she wanted, for some reason, I don't know what the hell was wrong with him that he did this. But she said, Sammy, maybe he got offended the way she had. It was a little girl, man. She asked him to sign her jacket, or, you know, a little windbreaker jacket she had on. And so he wrote on there, I'm a whore. And then and she couldn't see it, and she, you know, what? yeah, and then so a new guys had come in and bought the company from the Fullers. It was their first day, and so we're in the dressing room, and the guys, these new company guys, they come in and like, who is Shawn Michaels? And he goes, I am, and he goes, you signed this, because I mean, I didn't know what to say. I wasn't going to say nothing. I'm like, I can see how he handles this. He goes, what if I, and he smarts right off. What if I did? Well, you can't do that kind of stuff. That was a little kid. Oh, you don't even know the fucking business. You just bought it today. He's yelling at the owners like that. So later that night, Bob.
That's like really edgy for that timeline.
Yeah, I mean, we only in the business 2 years and you're already snapping off at people. But
I mean, I kind of get it though, because I've seen someone in the business, like, you know, go off on a little girl recently, and he's a up and comer too, like you guys were then. So I think it's more for like the attention and the shock. I think he was actually trying to make a shock.
Maybe I don't. I mean, I wouldn't have done that for, you know what? I do some crazy shit.
That's a little far. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that night, the show we had that night, that was
maybe the cocaine had something to do with it.
I was thinking that very thing.
Yeah.
So that night, Bob Armstrong comes up. He was the booker, you know, for the thing. He comes up and he goes, guys, I hate to say it, but they want y'all to take 2 weeks and then go. And Sean's like, fuck it, we'll go now. So we did. I'm like,
bye, Bob. Bye, Dutch.
Yeah.
See you, Robert.
Yeah. But Bob came up to me and he goes, this is paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly, but he goes, God bless you, brother.
Because he knew.
Yeah. And so we were. I said, Sean, what are we gonna fucking do now? We ain't got no money. I mean, what, we're going to just sleep in the car? And so he goes, let me call the Nasty Boys. which they were up in Tennessee, the Tennessee territory.
And here we are, Tennessee.
Yep.
Greetings.
Yep. And so I guess he called the Nasty Boys and he goes, all right, we got a job. We're going to, they want us in Tennessee. So we went up there and it was so much fun. Again, we wasn't making, they would, man, it was, gosh, you talking about struggling. Everybody was, I mean, everybody except Jerry Lawler. You know, Jerry, I don't know if he had a part of it, you know, owned a little bit of it.
No, Jerry was like a god in that territory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Memphis, I mean, he could be the mayor if he wanted. But the best part of being there was they let us be heels for the first time because they found out what Sean did down in Birmingham, and they thought, these guys, let's see what they can be as heels. And we've never done heels yet. Have you got that clip? Where I come out?
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Yeah, because we got to be heels, man. That was the most fun ever.
Make like a sheep herder and get the flock out of here. Let us talk now, would you?
Just that was so much fun, man. Getting to be a heel. We ended up working with Rock and Roll Express there. Nice. Everybody always wanted to know, like, yeah, I wonder what that match would be like. It was pretty damn good, but it was odd because we were heels and they were the babies, of course. And we'd always thought we'd both, it'd be a babyface match. Both of us a babyface, but now we were heels, like, like right there. But it was just so much fun.
Like naturals, though. Like you look like an absolute natural heel right there. I'm wondering, like, to the point, like, maybe did you not enjoy that? And like,
oh, I enjoyed it and I did good at it. Everybody said later on, when we went back to babyface, everybody was like, "Man, they're missing the boat with you."
Where was that Marty in WWF? I mean, that's the Marty we needed in WWF, man.
If they would have let that Marty be there,
Marty.
You might not have heard about Sean.
I don't think so. If you came out like talking like that, acting like that, with that like swagger, bro, and the shades too. I don't know why the shades just take it to another. Like you're like Miz before Miz, even worse.
Yeah,
like,
boy. I mean, and it was so much fun. You go out there, and I remember telling the audience, I said, "Man, they love us everywhere we go, to the north, to the east."
Lance, can you do us a favor? Make like a sheep herder and get the flock out of here. Let us talk now, would you?
I'm shocked that's never been replicated on TV again. I've never heard that in all my years. Get the flock out of here. It's genius.
Yeah, make like a sheep herder and get the flock out of here.
Yeah, the sheep herder. Straight. Did you just come up with that off the top of your head, or did you know you were saying that when you went out there?
I was pretty much. It just came out. And it was a couple things during that interview. There was a part. Jeff Jarrett had a poster out. He was wearing blue jeans and no top. Trying to do a sexy pose. And in that same interview, was talking about it. Have you seen the Jeff Jarrett poster? Looks like a 6-foot worm wearing blue jeans. Every tackle and bait stop in America's got a poster. Sean bought one and put it behind his aquarium to tease his fish. It was just, and then fucking with the people, the crowd, excuse my language. I remember looking out and saying, we're loved everywhere we go till we come down here. And I'm from the South, right? So we come down here to the South with you slow ass people. I said, look at it. Just look out here in the crowd. Clowns to the left of us, jokers to the right, and we're stuck in the middle with you guys. They started throwing shit at us, but it was oh god, it was so fun to be a heel. I really wish. I mean, I don't mind being babyface, and in real life, I kind of am a babyface, but I get to do that alter ego when I get to be heel because there is heel in me, especially if I'm drinking.
Yes. Yes.
But so
heel's more fun, man. Bad guys always have more fun.
Yeah. You know what was crazy too in Tennessee? Like, again, you have so much fun when you're making no money. And we were having to carpool the money. We stayed with the Nasty Boys, which they had a 1-bedroom apartment. So Sean and I would sleep in the front room. We'd alternate each night. Got the couch one night and the floor the next night. And we'd alternate like that. unless one of us was hurting or something. You know, I never cared about, you know, any of that. You know, if he wanted the couch 2 or 3 nights in a row, he was hurting. I got no problem with the floor. But it was just funny. You got 4 wrestlers in one bedroom, and that's where
I would assume that would get nasty.
We got real nasty. And in fact, we started a fire. I did accidentally.
Oh.
Yeah, Knobs likes to say it wasn't a real fireplace. Goddamn, Daddy was burning his bills. I couldn't pay him, so I just threw them all. There was a whole stack of them, so I threw them all in the fireplace and lit it up. They didn't. What it was is it was a real fireplace, but they didn't have the chute open. You know,
shit! So that shit you fucked up.
Yeah, house. So when the smoke filled the house, and then we're opening the doors and the windows, and the neighbors are called the damn fire people, truck people over there, and it was all. Knobs to this day, he goes, "It wasn't a real fireplace, Janetti, you dumbass." You know, he goes, "It was just a prop." No, it was real. You didn't have to shoot open. And once again, let me clarify something. You know, and at the end, let's show that little parody. How much time? What are we looking at time right now?
I'm good on time. We can go as long as you want right now.
I know. Where are we?
We're at the 41-minute mark. So
shit. Okay. So anyway, we passed the fire. This is the same place that Rocky. You know, the Rock, Dwayne's dad.
Yeah,
that he would come over and party with us all morning, all up until 5 o'clock. And we were doing a little, the powder, and which some people get a little edge. Come around 5 o'clock, said 4:30 or so, he started peeking out the windows because his wife, I guess, coming home from work. and I swear, this one time was so funny, man. He saw her coming in, so he goes, "I got to go, guys." He runs, and we're looking out the window to see if he's going to get caught. He's running behind the shrubbery just right up against the building, doing forward rolls, diving, jumping, trying to get to the damn house.
It sounds like The Rock's mom is the real tribal chief.
Yeah, evidently. Then little Dwayne comes by. "Hey, can I have a beer?" As soon as his dad left, here he comes. You got Jerry Lawler. Jerry and I had a match down there in Memphis. And I was nervous as hell to work.
I was going to ask you, because you're next to him at that time. You see how he's being treated, handled. He pretty much runs everything. So yeah,
and he's good. And he's psychology wise, man. He's one of the best.
He's one of the greats. Yeah, I think he should have had a championship run in his prime. Him and Hogan would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, because he knows what he's doing. Our match, I was so damn nervous, and then I figured he would tell me like before we went to the ring. Or like put something together, a little something. And I'm sitting there waiting for him. He goes, "You got anything you want to do?" I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Whatever you want." He goes, "We'll just go out there and wing it." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh shit! Hey, you were ready though. I'm sure you were more than ready.
We had a good one. We had a really good
Was he like calling all the spots in your match?
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna call something.
Yeah. Did you ever see?
Hey, Sherry, take a backdrop.
Well, that would have went over well. Did you ever see or run into Andy Kaufman at all when you were working down there with him?
No, I think that was over by a couple, 2-3 years.
Yeah, but I know he said he was going there for a long time, just as a fan, like once in a while to watch the shows, even before that all happened.
Maybe, yeah, I guess I didn't see him though. I never met him.
No worries. And then what happened? You went to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah. So now the way I first went to Minneapolis was out of Kansas City. I forgot who contacted me or how it works. Where Minneapolis or AWA wanted me.
And that's the big time now. AWA.
Yeah, I've learned as much as I could. I didn't want to leave Kansas City because I loved the people there. I loved Bob Geigel. I loved Harley Race, and all the boys. But it was time to go move on.
It's time to grow.
Yeah, I was going as far as I can go there.
And you mentioned ESPN coverage too.
Yeah, that was the thing. I'm going up now. Whereas it was called the Central States area territory. It was Kansas. Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, Arkansas, some parts of Rogers, Arkansas. But that's it. And then in St. Louis, one piece of Illinois. That's it. So now going up to AWA. Now we're going to Denver, San Francisco, Chicago. Now I'm getting to branch out, Salt Lake City, branch out to bigger cities and around the country. Bigger, and ESPN TV, which was a big deal.
That's a lot of experience.
Yeah, and it's the things you learn. This is something I learned along the way. All the time I was there in Kansas City. Never did they offer, I was okay with the money because it was better than what I was doing at my job in Columbus. And I was enjoying the business, being a single guy, the partying, the women, the wine, the feeling fine.
You're still enjoying the business.
Yeah. Well, until I'm ever married, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah,
but so now that I'm leaving and going to AWA, Bob Geigo comes up and goes, what if we offer you $750 a week? Because we probably was making around $500 a week. Guaranteed, guaranteed. Said, $750 guaranteed. And I said, no. He goes, $800. I'm like, okay, let me see how far this is going to go. But I mean, it wouldn't even been about the money. I wanted to go to a bigger territory, and but it was just funny. All that time you could have been paying me that. It wasn't until I'm leaving. Now you're going to pay me that. So I learned that the first year in the business.
You don't know what you have until you let it go, pretty much.
Yeah, and then so that now it's moving up to Minneapolis, which, man, I fell in love with Minneapolis, the people, the fun. It's snow on the ground like 8 months a year out of the year up there. So
you got to find something to stay warm with.
No, they find so much fun in the snow. I mean, they got this thing where they go up the like a lake or trails, but lakes, because they do ice fishing. They drill a little hole in the ice and fish right there, and they got little not outhouses but ice houses, and you get you some beer and you hang out for a little bit, and then you get back on the snowmobile and go up the trail and go wherever. They know how to have fun in the snow, and come when they say spring. I mean, they don't get a whole lot of time without snow on the ground. But when they do, boy, do they enjoy their fun, man.
Well, they're used to it, so.
Yeah, that Lake Minnetonka, man, that was the place. Wow, boy. I mean, even the married guys got in trouble at that place. Lake Minnetonka. But, and so now I'm meeting new guys to learn from. Nick Bockwinkel was one of the most intellectual and intelligent guys. Buddy, we got to work. That's what got us discovered by WWE or F, was working with Buddy Rose right there, and Doug Summers, and Sherry Martell was their manager. And man, we had battles that went on for a year before we finally beat them for the tag belts, and it was a bloodbath, which. It's still talked about today, and that was in 1986, and they still talk about that bloodbath. Some people, wrestling,
wrestling fans, historians,
yeah. But that's when WWE took notice of it. It's like, wow, okay, they got good moves and all that, but they can be serious too. When we did the bloodbath, and it was pretty bloody. Everybody.
Did you ever have a bloodbath with Sherry?
That's not me. That's my girl, man.
I loved her so much.
Yeah, me too. She was a sweetheart. She was like our sister. She looked out for us. Me and Sean. Of course, Sean tried to push it somewhere else.
Sean tried to push it to the limit.
Yeah, and he might have. I don't know. I don't know. That was my sister, man. So but yeah, so we learned so much from them, again, stepping up, and Nick Bockwinkel taught us a lot. Kurt Hennig was there, Mr. Perfect. That's where I first met him, and Scott Hall. Scott Ledoux was there. The boxers, yeah, there's Kurt. Man, I tell you one thing we learned from him was like ribbing, which I already was ribbing down in Kansas City. I was doing shit to Bulldog Bob Brown because he aggravated the shit out of me. Scalded him like a lobster one time. But anyway, Kurt would we got us into the locks. Every time we wrestle in any kind of high school gym or college gym, the locks hanging off on the lockers. He goes, all you do is go around and pull on each one of them. One or two will open, because people close them and don't turn the thing, the combination turn. So he and we went through a lock phase, man. Everybody was locking everybody's bags together. And if you come back from the ring, your bag is locked to a pipe on the roof.
Honestly, bro, that's like a piece of shit move, and I know it's a rib, but I would have gotten into a fight over that. Like after the match, I'm tired.
Hey, check this out though. Leon White and Scott Ledoux, the one Baby Bull, or he was called Baby Bull Leon White, Van Vader. Him and Scott Ledoux was he was a referee for us, and he had a club downtown Minneapolis called the Jukebox Saturday Night, and everything was free. It was Scott Ledoux was running it, and so we went there to get hammered all the time. In fact, Minneapolis closed early. The clubs, I don't know if they still do. They used to close at 1 o'clock.
Oh,
Sean and I would be out on the road. As soon as our match was over, we would hurry the hell up and drive fast as we could.
You would fly to the place.
Yeah, trying to get back for last call, because if we got last call, Scott's, we could get 10 drinks, and be good for an hour or so. And Scott would let us hang out afterwards. But we had got pulled over one time, for going 900 miles an hour. And but they ended up knowing who we were. They let us go that time. But so I came up with this idea, and don't Sean wouldn't go for it. I had to be the one to do it. But I got a razor blade, like you might use in a match, and had it in the middle, and then we go flying to make the last call. If we were to get pulled over, I'd cut myself, and then we're trying to get to a hospital. Sure enough, one time Sean was like, "No, you do it. I'm not doing that." So all right. One time there we go. We got pulled over. Bam! I hit it, and it was a pretty good one. I mean, and the police continue to come up, and we said, "We're trying to hurry and get to the hospital. Look, we just wrestled. And he's busted open." And he looks at it, goes, "Oh, follow me."
You deserve that. You deserve that shit, man.
Yeah, but you know what? But he took us right to the hospital. I got out and I said, "Thank you, sir." And he said, "Thank you. Be careful." And he drove off. So soon I went in, and then turned around, came back and got in the car. And then we heard when we still made last call.
I wonder if that cop's ever going to watch this. Like, that son of a bitch scared the shit out of me. Before I move on to the next slide, you got anything on Doug's?
Oh, let me tell you what Kurt did to me one time.
Kurt? Okay, we're going back.
Yeah, we used to rib the shit out of Nick Bockwinkel because he was my boys. Don't think you're gonna rib the older buck. You new bucks don't know what you're dealing with. He was being all like and he's such an intellectual genius type of guy, nerdy, kind of guy that it just made you want to fuck with. And so Kurt says, "Marty, go look in the bathroom." We're at the studio doing our promos, commercials not commercials, promos for the upcoming towns, cities, whatever. So Kurt comes out of the bathroom as I'm going to it. He goes, "Go look in the last stall. Go look in the last stall." And I go in there, and he's put a 8x10 picture of Nick Bockwinkel in the toilet and shit on it right on top of a piece of shit. but as Gat would have it, here comes Nick. Kurt's out there, and he goes, I heard Kurt go, "Marty's in there, we're doing something. I don't know what he's doing." Nick walks in, and I walk out real fast, and I can hear Nick when he looks and sees it. "Marvy, that's just Marvy. shit on the world champion. At the bottom, you couldn't see his whole face. At the bottom it says world champion Nick Bockwinkel. Harvey is shit on the world champion. And he thinks I did it. He was so mad at me. I said I didn't do it. I just saw it in there. Fucking Kurt.
Fucking Kurt Hennig, man.
Yeah, he was the best, man.
What's the best rib you saw Kurt Hennig get on Scott Hall? Because I'm sure there was 1 or 2 or 3 or 50.
It probably was, but I don't remember that. But here's one I remember though that Kurt did. It was so great. We wrestled in Green Bay, and it was during it was from Green Bay to Minneapolis. It was 3, 4, 5 feet of snow overnight.
Jesus.
So we wrestled, and everybody was trying to hurry up and get through, so we didn't get caught in a snowstorm. But it was pretty bad, and Nick had put himself on 4th so he could get the hell on home first, and left me and Sean to go last. And Kurt, we were riding with Kurt, and I think Scott was with us because they were a tag team then. In fact, at one point they were tag team champions. But so we're driving back, and we're going. Kurt's got the O.J. Simpson Bronco, the white Bronco. That's nice. Exactly what he had. 4-wheel, so he can drive a little faster than everybody else and not worry about it too much. So about an hour into the trip, which is from Green Bay, it's normal. If there wasn't snow on the road, it's about a 4.5, 5 hour, 4 hour drive, 4.5. With snow like that, it took us about 7 hours to get home. Jesus. But so about an hour, maybe 2 hours in, we ain't going nowhere hardly. But there's this car going real slow, and it looks like Nick Bockwinkel's car. And we were saying, is that Nick? Is that Nick? and sure enough, it was. When Kurt got upside it, he goes, roll your window down. He goes, look on the hood. Look at his hood ornament. In the front of the car, whatever emblem. I think he had a Lincoln or whatever he had. The emblem. Yeah. There's a lock on it. There's a lock on the emblem. Right? And you can hear this. And it's like, what? He goes, roll your window down. Roll your window down. And so me on my side, right, I rolled the window down, and you hear this. We're like, what the fuck's that sound? He goes, look on the doorknob or door handle, right? He put a lock on the door handle, and it's tapping against the car. And he goes, tea kettle effect. And so then he goes, watch this. He blows the horn. We're already dying laughing about the emblem with a lock and the door handle with the tick, 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 tick. We're already dying laughing about that, right? And we could see Nick like leaning forward, trying to see how to drive. And then Kurt like blows the horn several times till Nick turns the light on. There's a lock. He had them big ass glasses, sunglasses, like windshield glasses. There's a lock right in the middle of them. He's having to push some things up. Look out there trying to drive. He's fucking bombarded. So the next TV, I think the next day, maybe even, Vern Gagne has a meeting with all of us, right? And he's like, Jesus Christ, guys, this lock shit's got to end. This lock shit's got to end. Everything's getting locked everywhere, and it's getting out of hand. Damn it. One more, you young guys, you young punks, this ain't right. This ain't how you do a business. And he goes, if I see one more lock in this territory, I'm firing you. And he goes to get his bag and he get up and it's locked to the desk.
Oh man, what a fucking animal Kurt is.
No, I think Pat Tanaka and I did that one.
Okay. Yeah. That's all right.
But it was hilarious, man. He goes to pick his bag up and he looks down. It's locked to his like the drawer handle. So let me tell you this. This was hilarious. What damn Kurt?
Who's this? Kurt again?
Yeah.
Oh.
Big Vader, but he was Leon Baby Bull White at that time. And Scott Ledoux, fought 8 world champions. So you got a guy that played in the NFL, and you got a guy that fought 8 world champions. Scott Ledoux yelled at Vader because Vader told some kid, "No, he ain't signing no autograph." and Scott, when we're getting it's Sean and Kurt up front, me, Scott Ledoux, and Vader in the back, and I'm in the middle, right? So he's like, you don't do that shit. You sign them autographs for them kids, and Vader's like, fuck you. You don't tell me what to do. And then they got, well, fuck you, ain't shit. And he goes, fuck you, ain't shit. You fucking every time you fought anybody worth of shit, you got your ass beat. He goes, yeah, well, you couldn't even fucking play 1 year in the NFL without blowing your knee out. You ain't shit. And they're fucking going, they're getting hot. And I'm in the middle. I'm like, guys, hey, guys. I mean, there's two monsters. I'm in the middle, right? All right. And Kurt, just as they calm down, I'm like, guys, calm down. And Kurt turns around and goes, hey, Marty, which one do you think is right? Fucking Kurt. They started back again. I was like, fuck you, Kurt.
That's great.
But yeah, man, that's and we was actually doing decent on money. We were only working but once we got there, we was only working like 15.
Dude, you're working with those guys. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't give a shit if you didn't get paid at all, man. Just having a good time.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, when we first got there, the Road Warriors had a storyline going with the Freebirds, and when we was going to Denver, Salt Lake, San Francisco, Scow Palace, famous place, Chicago, Baltimore, all these places were sold out, big arenas too, and then
and the Road Warriors were winning every night.
I don't know what that was, but when the Road Warriors took off and left, the houses dropped in half. Now we just got there, or I did. I had just gotten there, and because Sean came about 3 or 4 months, 5 months later, but So I watched that. I mean, like the first week there was great. So, 2 or 3 weeks later, after the Road Warriors was half a house, then the Freebirds left and it dropped in half again. So now it's 1/4 of what it used to be. And it was like, shit. And I'm right back in the same situation it was, where it's just not that good. But then we had the Wrestle Rock Rumble to try to save it all. There you go. Have you got to sing it?
Sean and Marty, we love to wrestle and we love to party. You don't have to worry, we're not gonna fumble, because we'll be shaking to the
Wrestle Rock Rumble. Yeah. That was a monster for us. You know why that song? Remember the Chicago Bears did that little shuffle song?
Yeah.
The 85 Bears, I think it was. That's where they got that whole idea from. But so we were going to try the Wrestle Rock Rumble was to save us. And what it was, we would wrestle and then they would have a concert afterwards. And at one point, the guys I used to listen to growing up, but in high school and stuff, Molly Hatchet was on tour with us for Salt Lake City, Denver, and San Francisco. And oh man, I fell in love. They got me up on stage once, and Sean too. They act like I was, playing. They didn't have of course, it wasn't plugged in or anything, but it was just cool getting in line with how they get there. They rock back and forth with guitar. I got right there, and it was perfect rhythm with them. It was just like I was one of them. But that was a highlight. That was a highlight. I loved that. The Rumble. It ended up being the biggest crowd I'd ever been in front of. It was like 30. It was right at 40,000, about 30.
Wow, that's a big show.
For me, yeah. And that was, everybody was expecting. I mean, it was huge. They had everybody in. Stan Hansen. Let's see. What was
Yeah, you had the fan over here. Just shout out to Leroy Jackson. Wanted to know, was Wrestle Rock everything you hoped for?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say now. And thank you for the question, bro. Yeah, it was, except for we're expecting, almost 40,000 people are paid because you got paid, by the shows there. It wasn't contracts yet, like later on. But they, yeah, man, they shorted. We got paid the same thing for that huge ass show as we would in Denver or Salt Lake or
So they basically shitted on you guys.
What they told us was there was some people in the parking lot selling fake tickets, scalpers in other words, but with fake tickets. Fucking bullshit like that, man. I mean, for you young guys, remember this. Learn all the tricks right now, because as you go up the ladder, the same tricks, they just elevated. But the same shit's going to go on the whole career. Okay, right about now we need to almost wrap it up. Let's go to that. But that was it. Minneapolis AWA was a great time. Probably the best of the territories. Let's move on now to playtime. You got that parody?
I got that parody. Did you want to touch on Al Snow real quick before we get into
OVW with Al Snow. He's doing so good, man. He's got a little thing on Netflix now. Al's my boy, man. He's probably one of the best guys in the business, and a very good guy to learn from. When I was riding with Sean, Sean was learning from me. I was teaching him everything I could. Even the 1, 2, 3 kid, when we tagged, I was teaching him everything. Certainly was teaching Bob Holly everything. Everything. Bob was. I love you to death, Bob. I'm not talking you down. I love you. You know that. But teaching him. Al was the first one I ever got to ride with that we learned from each other. I was learning from him as much as he was learning from me, and I don't even think he was learning from me, but he said he was. He said he did. That was cool. To learn. Ride with somebody every night and learn from each other.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so with OVW, I wish him the best of luck. We may be doing a little something. Maybe going in there for doing some things.
That's
I don't want to give it away because it might,
maybe you'll be on season 2 of Wrestlers.
What is that? Is that the thing?
Netflix. Yeah.
Netflix. Yeah, we never know, right?
You never know, man.
Or is it you that likes the girl Hollywood?
Oh yeah, I love Hollywood. She was actually she had her debut match on AEW recently. So congratulations.
Oh really?
To her. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
She got her shots in. I wanted to mention this anniversary over here of the time you guys were holding up that tag team gold.
Yeah.
So shout out to that.
Hey, show that one picture where we're all hugging each other at the end of the match.
Right here.
Yeah, right there. I don't know if you can see it. Can you make it bigger, like big screen? Yes, look at Brett right there. I'm hugging him like, hey, brother, sorry about the rope, because that's when the rope hit the match. But look at him. Isn't he looking at Sean already like, fuck that guy right there?
Who does this guy think he is? A quick word from Al Snow.
I'm former WWE superstar Al Snow and Marty Jannetty's former partner Leif Cassidy in the New Rockers, and we're partying with Marty.
Yeah. That's
and now we can get into that parody.
Yo, let me set it up. So I did a
tail.
You told me, you said it was you? No, it was somebody. It was our chief executive advisor, Mean Tampa Mike. Said, what did you mention that for? Talking when what it was, I had gone on some interviews and mentioned it. I said Hulk Hogan had a gumball machine full of pills that when you come into the party, that was your cover charge. You had to slide that little thing and 3 pills would fall. And there was all kinds of pills, different colors, different shapes, different sizes. You just take your 3 and go. There was nothing that was going to hurt you.
Hypothetically,
but it was and what I didn't elaborate on, when I said that, it just everybody took it as like Hulk's house has got a damn
Hulk's house. Everybody's going to Hogan's house to do the crack.
Yeah, it was a party house. I think the Nasty Boys had rented it. It was actually the Nasty Boys that had the the thing, and it was one night. It was cool. It was funny. It was funny. It was cool. But I just, the whole wrestling world, as usual, went crazy. And when Marty said Hulk's got a damn gumball drug thing. So
I'm sure you got like 100 messages that day. You seen this shit?
But this parody came out of all that. The one that you got it ready to go?
Spinner please welcome Marty Jizzanetti.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan, but it's actually Marty Jizzanetti.
Yeah, right on, my brother. I heard you got some big old wild wacky-dacky stories, man.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm not quite sure as to what you're referring.
It's getting nuts already, brothers.
Is it really getting nuts? All I did was answer.
What a loony. Hey, man, so tell me about the time
Excuse me, sir, I was speaking.
Oh, my sincere apologies, brother.
It's not very polite to interrupt.
See, Hulkamaniacs,
people
you have to talk real nicely to these nutty types, man.
Sir, you're aware that I can hear you?
Oh, is it true that you fucked a parking meter?
I beg your pardon?
Never mind.
That's a disgusting thing to say.
Hey, so tell me some of your funny, zany Marty stories, brother.
I'm not even sure how one could have intercourse with
the
the
fans want to hear them, man.
Sure. Well, I broke into the business in 1983, and I was trained by Jerry and Ted Oates.
Blah, 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 blah. Hall and Oates. Get to the good stuff, brother. Like when you drank that lava lamp and threw a couch out.
I never drank a lava lamp.
Huh, are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive. That'd be disgusting.
Oh.
Maybe toxic.
Maybe that was me. Hey, so you gotta have some bonko, nutty buddy, wild road stories though, right, brother?
Well, yeah, of course. Everyone had fun on the...
Hey, did you ever get drizzunk and fight yourself in a mirror?
I don't believe so.
Oh, me neither then.
I have my doubts about that, sir.
Man, you're such a loco-doco kind of guy. You probably used to find the best grizz-ass in town and smoke that stuff with Ricky Morton.
Why would I smoke with Ricky Morton?
Wasn't he your tag team partner?
No, he was never
Never mind. He kicked you through the wall on Piper's Pit, so
it wasn't. Oh, my
sensitive subject, right?
No, it's just that you're wrong
the
about...
Hulkster understands.
I think you might be a bit confused.
Yeah, me too. Hey, before we rizap this up, let's get one more stark raving Bananarama story from Party Marty.
Well, I remember a certain WWF champion, right, who had a gumball machine, and it was filled with...
yeah, Gino here.
Groovy G, I need your...
Hey, will you...
tail spinner.
That was good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was pretty good. Not gonna lie, I kind of like that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. All right, we need to wrap it up, bro.
We're gonna wrap it up right now. Well, before we wrap it up, though, I might as well do this because I said I would. So here you go. Here's the pictures. There's me and my son dressed up as dinosaurs.
Look at y'all.
I hope you're happy. There's you and Sean again. There he is. He's dressed up as a dinosaur today in school. He's going trunk or treating, getting candy, and then at the end of the day, this is the result. Not though. Not though.
Oh man, that's
real quick, man. Before we end the show, I had a moment to spend with Heath Slater.
No.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Okay. Yeah, and I love Heath, by the way.
Yeah, you do. So anyway, let me let you say goodbye to your fans.
All right, we love y'all. We had a great time with y'all tonight, and next week, join us next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about, Savage. We got to figure out something. Oh, I guess we'll go on to the move to the WWF, and then we'll talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, I think we could talk about the you growing and moving on.
Yeah, moving on up. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so that's what y'all get on episode 8. And again, we had a good time. Love y'all. Join us back here next week, same damn time, same damn place. See ya.
And hope you all have a safe Halloween.
We're here to party with Marty.